Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to tonight's episode of Poetry Live. Tonight, I'm going to be reading Emily Dickinson poems because there's a picture of her up in Queenstown. And that's the basis for tonight's thing. And that's a good enough reason. That is a good enough reason. We thought it was a more dramatic reason than that, but that's cool. That's cool. You know, I mean, at least the picture thing is cheery. Every time I go to Scarborough, I wow people with news that Scarborough is where Anne Bronte died and was buried. You know, it's hello Black Rabbit, hello Queen and Susan, hello, come in guys, hello Caitlin, hello Susan and Karen and Roger, come in. And so the other thing, that was it. The thing about tenuous links to poets, ladies and gents, tenuous links to poets or writers. This is Grimsby's uber tenuous link to a writer, alright? Grimsby, where I'm from, and to where we'll return on Thursday when we go and do some more till bashing. Good show on Thursday! Been working on it tonight. I'm enjoying it. It's good. Got a bit of a dream sequence, not quite a dream sequence to open it up with, not a naff dream sequence. A good dream sequence. Forget that I said dream sequence, it's just good. That's for Thursday then. Grimsby is tenuous link to a writer or poet. The town of Grimsby has merged with the town of Cleethorpes next door. Cleethorpes is an old English seaside town, and it's brought, the two things have sort of merged together, kind of like two blobs of jelly dropped on the floor, just going mush. And Anne Bronte was planning on coming down from Yorkshire to go on holiday to Cleethorpes before she died. So she didn't go. She died. She went to Scarborough instead. Actually, the toss-up was between Cleethorpes or Scarborough, and she went to Scarborough and died. So what does that tell you? Cleethorpes, she might have survived, but Scarborough, she died. And so, yeah, there you go. Queen's got a picture of Emily Dickinson, and the town next to my town almost had Anne Bronte go and visit her if she hadn't died. Yeah. Has anyone else got a more tenuous link to a poet or writer than that, by the way? And hello, Jimmy. Welcome. Hello, Country and Lisa. Come in, guys. Hello, Clockwork. Hello, Herbert. Hello, Caroline. Come in, guys. Come in. Well, I'm glad you found that one interesting, Clock. I'm glad you found that interesting, Lisa. It's not particularly interesting, but it is the hello Herbert, hello Caroline. So tonight, for those of you who are new, like Caroline, I am reading Poetry Live. I do this every night at this time on Periscope. Apart from last night because there was a power cut. Power cuts get in the way of even the most determined poetry readers. If there's no power, we can't do it. So last night there was no power cut, but otherwise every night of the week, same time, same place. Oh, there you go. Peter Cooley, same school. Where that's actually slightly closer than being next to a town that they didn't visit, like me. You're doing good. You're doing good there. That's a good one. Anyway, tonight I am going to be reading some Emily Dickinson poems to you all, ladies and gents. So without further ado, I'll cut my ramblings short. This is Hope is the Thing with Feathers. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chilliest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. Hello Reagan, hello, welcome to tonight's show. Emily Dickinson tonight. We've just done Hope is the Thing with Feathers, which is a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful poem. A very famous Emily Dickinson poem as well. Hello, hello, thank you Susan, thank you. Now I'm going to jump to my next poem, which will be Heaven is What I Cannot Reach. Heaven is what I cannot reach. The apple on the tree provided it to hopeless hang, that heaven is to me. The colour on the cruising cloud, the interdicted land behind the hill, the house behind, there paradise is found. Her teasing purples afternoons, the credulous decoy, enamoured of the conjurer that spurned us yesterday. There we go, and that, ladies and gents, is Heaven is What I Cannot Reach. Although I think within that we get almost a mingling of faiths, which I think perhaps might be the purpose of it. Oh! Shake fist at the net. Shake fist at the net. Totally on that one. Hello Andrew, hello. Hello Andrew, come in. This next poem, which one am I going to read for you next? Oh, I'm going to go A Bird Came Down by Emily Dickinson for my next Emily Dickinson poem for you. A bird came down the walk. He did not know I saw. He bit an angleworm in halves and ate the fellow raw. And then he drank a dew from a convenient grass, and then he hoped sideways to the wall to let a beetle pass. He glanced with rapid eyes that hurried all abroad. They looked like frightened beads, I thought. He stirred his velvet head like one in danger, cautious. I offered him a crumb, and he unrolled his feathers and rowed him softer home. Then oars divide the ocean too, silver for a seam, or butterflies off banks of noon leap splashless as they swim. Very different poem there from some of our previous ones. Not so much the first couple of ones. Excellent, Reagan. Well, I hope the sound of the poetry is helping to focus your mind as you work on it. That's a much more descriptive poem by Emily Dickinson. The previous ones that we heard were very much more introspective. That one, though, I like the observational element of it. I do. It's a very, very nice thing. Next, though, I'm going to go for so many to choose from. So many to choose from. Let's go for a bit of a. Oh no. Here we go. Because it's nice and relaxing, I imagine, Susan. Classical music does help focus the mind. This, though, my next poem, is Why Do I Love You, Sir? Till bashing is every Thursday. Every Thursday, Jimmy. Till bashing is Thursday. I'm very excited. This Thursday's episode is going to be great. I'm excited about this Thursday's episode. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good, Jimmy. It's going to be good. I've been waiting to do this Thursday and next week's as well, as they roll into each other. Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And this is Why Do I Love You, Sir? Why do I love you, sir? Because the wind does not require the grass to answer. Wherefore, when he passed, she cannot keep her place, because he knows. And do not you? And we know not. Enough for us the wisdom it is to be so. The lightning never asked for an eye, wherefore it shut when he was by. Because he knows it cannot speak, and reason's not contained of talk. There be preferred by daintier folk. The sunrise, sire, compelleth me, because he's sunrise, and I see, therefore then I love thee. Now that poem, although it seems to be dedicated in many ways towards God or some greater being, it's written in some quite archaic language, actually. I'm sorry, Black Rabbit, that you've got some nasty eyes playing up with your net. Thank you for coming, though. But this poem was in some very... You're welcome, Lisa. Enjoy your tea. It's written in some very archaic language, which is quite similar to that John Donne uses in The Sun Also Rises, which was written hundreds of years before. And I do think not only is there the link between the sunrise in those two poems, John Donne's The Sun Also Rises, even though he was a religious man, almost seems to be actually quite an atheistic poem. It's almost in the way he's at the time pushing science over religion, which was quite a serious thing to do, especially for a religious man such as John Donne. Quite a serious departure from his faith. Emily Dickinson seems to be taking the same subject matter and the same language and using it for a very different purpose. So that's why I like that poem. Anyway, these last two poems that I'm going to read you, ladies and gents, are themed. See, you don't think there's always a theme in these poems, but sometimes I pull through and get a bit of a theme going for you. These last two poems are focused on one of those wonderful ethereal things, which is very wonderful when it's not playing up with people's internet connections or power lines or anything like that. The wind. This is the duties of the wind are few. The duties of the wind are few. To cast the ships at sea, establish march, the flood's escort, and usher liberty. The pleasures of the wind are broad, to dwell extent among, remain or wander, speculate or forests entertain. The kinsmen of the wind are peaks, as of the equinox, also with bird and asteroid, a bowing intercourse. The limitations of the wind, do he exist or die? Too wise he seems for wakelessness, however, know not I. And that, ladies and gents, has to be one of my favourite pairings in a poem. That actually matching up of the bird and the astronaut, both of them being propelled through the earth, one living and conscious and moving, the other huge and dense and plunging. Thank you, Jimmy. I'm glad you like that. And it's quite a powerful image there, the idea of bird and asteroid both being within the wind. Just such a sharp contrast, and yet there is so much between those two notes of the poem. And there's great power in actually having two things which are so far apart and then connecting the distance between them. John Frusciante, when he wrote the opening riff to Scar Tissue, was doing the exact same thing. That's why that whole do 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 do. Yeah, I'm not going to try to do Scar Tissue because I'm tone deaf and doing that thing. I can play it on the guitar, but those two notes in Scar Tissue were meant to have that kind of distance between them, showing Frusciante's leaving Chili Peppers and coming back to Chili Peppers, and that is, I think, there's a wealth of emotion between those two notes there, and that you get that between the bird and the asteroid there as well, I think. Wow. So there, ladies and gents, tonight we've covered the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Anne Bronte's failed trip to Cleethorpes that never took place, and John Donne as well. It's been quite a varied show here. We've covered a lot, which is good. I like a little bit of banter in the show. You guys might not like the banter, but I like the banter to break the show up. Anyway, this last poem, ladies and gents, to continue on that aerial theme, is The Wind Took Up the Northern Things, which is a fantastic opening line, by the way. A brilliant opening line for a poet. As a dyed-in-the-wool northerner, The Wind Took Up the Northern Things is just gorgeous. Emily Dickinson has some beautiful lines in her poetry. That's good. The wind took up the northern things. The wind took up the northern things and piled them in the south, then gave the east unto the west, and opening his mouth the four divisions of the earth did make, as to devour, while everything to corners slunk behind the awful power. The wind unto his chambers went, and nature ventured out, her subjects scattered into place, her systems ranged about again. The smoke from dwellings rose, the day abroad was heard. How intimate a tempest passed, the transport of the bird. How is that? How is that funneling of the poem that we saw from that great epic poetic line, the wind took up the northern things and piled them in the south, and then coming down through the scattering of the winds to all of its movements, north, south, east and west, to come down to the town, its subjects, as the smoke from the dwellings rose and day abroad was heard. And how intimate a tempest passed, the transport of the bird. This small bird that you don't get at the start of the poem, it provides new detail. Once you realise she's talking about the bird as being one of these northern things that's being picked up in a tempest and thrown to the south. Then as daylight comes, actually starting to see the physical elements of that poem. She was a wonderfully gifted poet. I've enjoyed reading that with you. Sorry if I've rambled a little bit too much, perhaps, whilst reading those poems to you, ladies and gents. But I did rather enjoy doing that. I did enjoy having the chance to talk to you about that in a little more detail. So thank you so much for coming, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you. It's very kind of you. And thank you as well. Thank you to Roger and Karen and Susan, Queen, James and Danny and Clockwork and Andrew and Jane and Barbie and Nicholas. Thank you, guys. And Reagan as well, who had to pop up. And Lisa, well, she was here. Thank you all of you. And of course, Black Rabbit, when you finally pop back and watch this on replay, Black Rabbit, thank you. Sorry your internet was playing up tonight, but Thank you, you wonderful, wonderful people. Tomorrow night, the poetry will be, I will continue to read poems of the backs of packagings and things that people have sent in. Danny's already sent something in, so thank you, Danny. I need to see if I can get the image loaded up on my iPad so I can get a larger image. I'll let you know if I need a larger video. Excellent, Andrew. Excellent. Good. What video? What's the content of the video that you've been editing? I've been chatting about video editing today. What have you been working on? But yes, that's it for tomorrow. But I'm reading the backs of things, so if anybody's got the back of anything out that they want me to read, let me know. I will DM you if I need a bigger shot. But let's get some more things brought in. I got a nice salt grinder today. Not a big grinder, but one with salt in there. I got some Himalayan mountain salt in there, which I might read. Well, Susan, the past 2 Wednesdays, we've been reading the backs of random household items on a Wednesday on Poetry Live and turning them into poems. We've turned the back of a shampoo bottle into a poem. We've turned the back of some banana hand lotion into a poem. We've turned some of that white creamy stuff that we don't have in the UK. What's it called, somebody? The white creamy stuff that we did. Whatever the white creamy stuff that you have in America that we don't have in the UK. We turned that into a poem. No, it's not coconut oil. We do coconut oil. Miracle Whip. Thank you, Queen. Thank you. We don't have it, so the name escapes me. We've done Miracle Whip into it. You need to send in the pictures, Susan. Send me a picture. Send me a picture of the back of what I need to read. And yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And yeah, tomorrow, if I need extras, I might do the back of the Himalayan mountain salt packet. It is fun. It's always fun, Susan. As long as you guys are here and my power's working, fun happens. Fun happens if you guys turn up and I can get on to do the show, which 9 times out of 10 we're perfectly fine with. So as long as we've got all that, fun is virtually guaranteed. Anyway, ladies and gents, I'm going to pop off now. It's been wonderful to see you all this evening. And I will see you again at the same time, same back channel tomorrow. Apologies for the power cut that took us out yesterday. Susan, tweet me back from that Twitter thing. Whoa! That's a bit weird. I've just got a load of tweets through at once. Susan, I have your tweet. Your tweet has gone. It's arrived. It's arrived, Susan. So let's hope that maybe it's starting to work. That's come through. Also, a load of tweets at once, despite having 0 tweets the last time I looked, which was 5 minutes ago. I've now gone up to 22. So maybe my Twitter was just playing up. Possibly it's just come through. That's okay, Marabont. Yeah, it's just dumped a load of stuff, Susan. So I think only one of yours came through in that dump. But I've got stuff from other folk. Yes, Clockwork. We will do Silken. We will do Silken on Friday. Friday, Silken is my plan. Silken is my plan for Friday, guys. That's done. Tomorrow night we're going to be reading the backs of things. Thursday night we're doing Till Bashing. Friday night we're doing Silken. Gosh, it divvies up the week something, doesn't it? It divvies it up really well. Anyway, thank you so much, ladies and gents. Thank you for coming tonight. It's been great to see you. I'll see you again all tomorrow. Thank you and good night. Okay, Susan, I will.